Hi guys, Dom here, back with another news vlog, news roundup. I didn't do one last week because I put out the video of my outdoor workspace, which is all up now already. Go check it out if you haven't. And yeah, I'm delighted to be in here at last because it's been a long project and it's good to have my own space and everything. But without further ado, let's get into the news this week. I'm going to focus mainly just on UK esports news because there's a lot that's happened over the past week or two, and there are a couple of sort of global stories that affect the UK in some way. I haven't put this in order of best or most exciting stories first. I'll whittle through it as quick as I can, try and keep it to sort of 20 minutes or so this video if I can. So getting straight into it. First story we had, Celtic, the Scottish football club, have entered the Call of Duty World League Championship with an all UK team. Great to see them getting involved. They've had the roster here. I won't attempt some of these names like Quicker and Shawnee. I may be pronouncing them wrong. Call of Duty isn't my specialty, but we've got a bunch of great writers on Esports News UK that have a much better understanding of Call of Duty esports than myself. Unfortunately for Celtic, they didn't do that well at the CWL Championship, which was won by E United. Celtic, I believe, finished in the 25th to 32nd placing. But we did have some UK teams perform pretty well. You got the top four there. There we go. The British team Singularity roster beat the likes of Luminosity and Team Envious, which is fantastic, and finished 9th to 12th. But it was Team Reciprocity and Units that made it the furthest, and they both finished 5th to 6th, earning $75,000 in prize money each. So good to see the UK still doing well in Call of Duty, but been bubbling in that sort of top 4 to top 6 area for a while, I believe, at events of this stature. So I'd love to see a UK team break into that top 2 at some point. Be damn hard, but it can be done, I'm sure. The Overwatch League schedule for 2020 has been announced. And of course, they've added this new Homestead format, I believe it is. They announced that a little while ago, where each team is going to have games, matches taking place in their home city or hometown, and fans will be able to watch matches there. So, for example, week 1, February 8th, you've got New York hosting London Spitfire, which is cool. And in terms of the home games for London Spitfire, the dates are March 28th, 29th and June 6th to 7th. So mark that up in your calendar. I don't believe there's an actual area or location announced, but who knows, there's loads of great places that could probably host this. We've got Twickenham Stadium, we've got Arena Birmingham. There's loads of venues that have held top esports events over the past couple of years. Wembley, of course, it makes sense. Why am I saying Arena Birmingham? It won't be there, but there's some great places in London that I'm sure this will the matches will take place. So looking forward to that. Next up, I've got. I noticed this here. This was shared in the Esports News UK Discord, and if you're not a part of the Esports News UK Discord, there's a link on our Twitter, in our Twitter bio, which is like a permanent link, I believe. So come and join us. We have good chats in there every now and then. Be nice to make it a little bit more active as well, but there's a good bunch of people in there, and we have a good laugh. But anyway. Pixel Bar is coming soon to Leeds. It's a new esports video games bar. There's going to be board games there as well. They'll have 12 high-split gaming PCs, 6 console booths, plus an incredible cocktail menu. And I asked these guys, hang on a minute, I'm going to open up Discord. Yeah, I mean, while I open up Discord, it's been a thing that hasn't really stuck in the UK. Gaming bars, esports bars. We've had some good ones like Wanyu in London. We've also obviously got the Game Belong arenas around the UK, which are pretty cool. But I think it's the culture in the UK. It's very different, obviously, where a lot of the esports bars do really well across places like Asia. Haven't quite cracked it in the UK just yet. Where is it here? Let's have a look here. Here it is. So in Discord here, let me maximize this. Let me try and find it. Here we go. Leeds is getting a new esports bar opening in Great George Street in September. And I've asked, I'm guessing this is separate to what was in Leeds before, which is Eden Bar. Completely separate, Dom. New brand, new owners, who myself included are actually gamers and have much better PCs. We're bringing back a couple of the old Eden Bar staff because they were great, but other than that, it's a completely new venture. So yeah, it'd be good to watch out for that. Good luck to those guys. And moving on, NSE, National Student Esports, the UK University Esports body, and rival to the Newell, of course. They've teamed up with ESL, announced a new long-term partnership. Now, they haven't said what this partnership will involve exactly, but they've said that it's going to strengthen the connection between universities and the wider esports ecosystem and enrich higher education students' paths to professional careers within the esports industry. So, you know, make of that what you will. We could see graduate schemes or things crop up at ESL or other places in the esports industry, helping create that pathway for university students, players, esports talent, future talent, find their way in the industry. I think it's a good announcement. We'll see what happens. I will say for the record, I still think there's a place for the Newell, absolutely. They've obviously been going longer than NSE. I think there's room for both. Competition is healthy, or should be healthy, and I wish the best to the both of them. So it'd be interesting to see how that shapes up. So moving on, London's going to host the 2020 Pokemon World Championship. So not one of the biggest esports in the world, but you know, it, like a lot of the lower tier esports, has a dedicated following, and you know, there's multiple games in there. There's the video games, you know, the handheld video games. There's Pokken Tournament, which is the fighting game, and there's also the trading card game. I think it's the digital version of the trading card game. I'm not super up to date. And we had a UK player, Teddy French, was named runner-up in the 2019 finals junior division on the weekend. I believe that was in where is it here? Yeah, the standard video game. So congratulations to Teddy. Gutted he didn't win, obviously, but yeah, I believe that was the only British player that made it that far into that sort of runner-up spot. So congrats to Teddy. And yeah, they haven't. The Pokemon Company haven't announced where the World Championships are going to be taking place in the UK next year, but could be London. I mean, they recently announced there's going to be a pop-up shop opening in London in October, a Pokemon Centre. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's London. This one kind of affects the UK. It's Gfinity Australia is closing. Obviously Gfinity is based in the UK. I believe the main part of Gfinity PLC, and this Gfinity Esports Australia was a result of a partnership between HT&E Limited and Gfinity PLC 2 years ago. They've launched a custom esports arena. They had their Gfinity Elite Series Australia taking place out there. It's sad to see it go. You know, there was plans, we believe, to have some kind of international World Series. But since I wrote this story, I've seen some other stories out there saying that there's some rumours that Gfinity are going to do more stuff in the US. I'm not sure if that's how concrete that is, so I won't bring that up. But yeah, Gfinity reportedly owned 30% of Gfinity Esports Australia. So what have they said? They've said Where is it here? I can't find this first quote where they said that. Yeah, there we go. The economics of esports in the Australian market are yet to deliver sustainable positive earnings. But with esports, there's no certainty on when a positive contribution might be achieved. So, they obviously haven't made money, and this is what I worry about sometimes in esports. A lot of people talk it up to be this amazing thing, or obviously is an amazing thing to you and I, but to brands and companies and people that want to make money out of it, that hear the prize pools of the Fortnite World Cup and Dota 2 International, $30 million plus, oh wow, look at all this money, and don't realise where that money goes or where it comes from in the first place, and think they can easily take a slice of it, and that's not the case. So I do worry sometimes about the esports bubble bursting. I think some people have said to me, I'm thinking into it too much. I probably am, but I hope we don't see more things like this, more brands closing down, more organisations getting out of esports. That's not what we want to see. So moving on, this is a nice story I saw when I loaded up Reddit this morning. A young UK streamer, Average Harry, tearfully tells his mum his charity stream has raised thousands of pounds. I mean, it's not an esports story, but it's a nice thing. He's 15 years old. He was not expecting to raise $5,000 in his 12-hour charity stream, and he did. And I'll play a really quick clip for you.
4,280 we've raised.
So there we go. That's part of the clip. Well done, Harry. Fantastic thing to do, obviously. And wow, that Twitch clip has been viewed 208,000 times in the space of less than 24 hours. So that's fantastic. Maybe he'll have a career in streaming now, and good luck to him. Great to see him raising money for charity, and it's a lot of people were describing it as wholesome. It obviously means a lot to him. I haven't watched the whole stream, so I don't know if Great Ormond Street Hospital is something he's raising money for, if there's personal reasons or anything like that. I don't know, but well done, Harry. Moving on, I've just seen this evening Method has partnered with World Showdown of Esports to bring the race to World First to World of Warcraft Classic. I mean, I'm excited about this as someone who played World of Warcraft Vanilla back in the day extensively. That for me, Ragnaros, the final raid boss of Molten Core raid, killing that was one of my top memories in gaming of all time. Possibly the best memory for me. Me and my guild focused so much on getting that guy down, and when we eventually did, man, it's such a good feeling. And I'm super excited to see that there's a race to World First for World of Warcraft Classic happening. Good luck to Method. I'm sure they'll smash it. Classic, there are so many guides for Classic now. It's not like going into a new raid where for the first time, like Ashara the other week, we know these bosses, we know these raids, we know how they work. It's going to be closer than ever. And on that note, who knows, maybe someone else will be Method. It certainly can be done. But Method is tightly organised and everything. I expect them to get at least a few world firsts. That's exciting. Up next, this is an important story I wanted to highlight. At the EVO fighting game community event in the States the other week, there was some disturbing reports of groping, sexual assault and drink spiking emerging from the event's Red Bull after party. And Logan Sammer, who's a well-known British fighting game host and owner of event organiser Winner Stays On, he made some good comments that I wanted to highlight. There is a video here, but for the sake of trying to keep this roundup pretty brief, I'll just highlight. Don't come into this space with the aim of doing anything other than pressing buttons and enjoying fighting games. Leave it at that. All this stuff that's happened the past weekend with this illegal criminal behaviour of women getting sexually assaulted, people's drinks being spiked, that shit needs to get out of society in general. I completely agree. Pretty disturbing reports. Don't really want to see things like that happening. And yeah, this, if you want to read more into it, there's more quotes and things. There's several websites have done stories on it. I went for more of a UK angle, obviously. It's a bit more UK news. Kappa, the brand. I mean, this is, I'm showing my age here. This is a brand that I'm very familiar with. Growing up in the 90s, I mean, Kappa tracky bottoms were all the rage, and tracksuit tops. Was a super popular brand back in the day, and I think they're making waves to try and push their brand up a little bit more. I think they've done some activities with, I think I was watching Match of the Day the other week, and I saw the Kappa stuff in the background on one of the sponsor boards when they do their interviews. So they're obviously pushing again, and they announced a partnership with UK esports organisation Vex Gaming, which is great. So the Kappa is going to provide tournament and casual wear to Vexed. And the Kappa have said the esports and gaming community is full of passionate individuals who strive for personal excellence, something we at Kappa embrace in all we do. Great to see brands like this getting involved. More of this, please, and good luck to Vexed and Kappa. Epic Land have announced Season 3 of the Grosvenor Casino CSGO tournament. Great to see that still going, and long may it continue. They received some dodgy coverage during Season 2 on the Daily Mail, which was something like, I can't remember what it was, but they were trying to connect the dots between esports players and young players, and promoting gambling to children and things like that. Typical Daily Mail. But from what I've seen, it looks like a really good event. It's a really good grassroots event. It's got another £10,000 prize pool, so yeah, good luck to the teams taking part there. And on that note, on the note of children playing games that are or gambling and things like that underage, there's a report that's come out that said over a quarter of those engaging with esports betting tweets in the UK are children. A new report by think tank Demos and the Department of Management at the Uni of Bristol has found that 28% of those actively responding to esports betting tweets in the UK are children. If I don't know what the age limit, the restriction is on Twitter. I believe it's 13 years old. Now, of course, if you're a 13-year-old and you can follow anyone on Twitter, can't you? Unless it's a restricted thing. So maybe this will make Twitter change their policy. Who knows? The report's calling for tech companies to make better use of age verification tools and ad tech to prevent children from viewing gambling ads. Slightly worrying. And on that note, on the note of tech companies making better use of age verification tools, I'm going to jump to this story. Fnatic was deleted from Twitter the other day, completely gone. This is what it looked like. This account doesn't exist. So what the hell happened? They had 1.2 million followers. It looks like someone at Fnatic changed the account's birthday and the Twitter settings to the date the org was founded, which is July 23rd, 2004. Now, because Twitter's terms of service states that users must be aged over 13 or over at the time of creating their account, this made it appear to Twitter that Fnatic was younger than 13 years old when they first set up their account. Now, obviously, it's a business company account. It's not a personal account, and that's something that Twitter needs to look into, because it automatically just shut the account down, which is ridiculous. Fnatic's founder, Sam Matthews, has said, "Hey, Twitter, can we have our account back? I can assure you I was 19 when I started it." So that's a bit of a crazy story, and I believe at this time there were reports saying that Fnatic will get all of its followers back, and there was a glitch. Let's see how they're doing at the moment. Here we go. So they've got 467,000 followers. I'm pretty sure when I checked this earlier, this was on about 600,000 or 700,000. So I don't know what is going on here. Who knows? There were some reports, tweets I saw earlier, of people saying that they'd automatically unfollowed Fnatic when it happened. We haven't. The Esports News UK account is still following them automatically, so I don't know what's happened, but bit of a blunder on Twitter's part, and you'd like to think that Twitter will review their policy so this kind of stuff doesn't happen again. And also, educate internally. You know, it's a bit of a staff blunder to do that and not know Twitter's shonky rules. So gutted for Fnatic, but I'm sure they'll get their follower numbers up in no time. Moving on, we've got our weekly XL Esports look, and thanks to Red Bull, of course, and Sue Collins there, and Ju-Sung, David Lim, D Lim, the XL coach, commended XL players despite missing out on LEC playoffs. The British underdogs couldn't quite pull off a miracle, but Coach D Lim is happy with the challenges XL overcame this split. They did leave it too late. I remember talking about this a couple of weeks ago, but it's good to see that they did win a few games towards the end and almost managed to turn the season around. Maybe third time's the charm. You know, they've had 2 seasons now in the LEC. Maybe the third time XL are going to nail it. I really hope so. I want them to succeed. It's a franchise league at the end of the day, but you still want your team to do well. Okay, so sorry, it looks like it's a first-person article written by D Lim and probably edited by Sue. So D Lim said it's been a challenging first split. There's a lot of systems in place in the company that I had to get used to. Didn't get the chance to meet anyone either before flying in and starting practice from day one. I think XL is still finding their feet. I think for season 3 they would have learned and understand now, changing staff and things like that. Hopefully they can do it a little bit earlier next time, and so they can get their heads down, get scrimming, and be the best that they can be. They had a 2-week break after going 0-6. It was a bad start for Excel. But yeah, so it's a good article there from D Lim, and they had a 2-0 weekend, so more of those, please, Excel. Let's hope we can push on for season 3, for your third season. So last few bits of news. Team Secret, an org with UK Rainbow Six players. They finished in the 3rd to 4th bracket at the Rainbow Six Rayleigh major. So congrats to those guys. G2 missing out to Empire in the final. And last few stories. Kroenke Sports and Entertainment, the holdings company behind Arsenal Football Club and several big sports brands in the US and sports teams in the US. Their bid to acquire Echo Fox's LCS slot in the US has fallen through. They were unable to meet Riot Games' requirements for acquiring Echo Fox's LCS slot. And so with that said, Echo Fox retains the slot, but the future of that remains uncertain. This article was written on August the 10th, so there's probably more of an update on this, guys, if you Google it now. But I believe Echo Fox are losing that slot, and they need to find another buyer. But on the note of Kroenke Sports and Entertainment, they've just bought a slot in the Call of Duty League, along with Misfits Gaming. So they're the So Kroenke is going to have the Los Angeles franchise. Misfits are going to have the Florida franchise. So, it looks like, who knows, maybe Kroenke's would have bought this slot and the LCS slot, but you could easily argue and say that they've gone for this one because the LCS slot fell through. I understand that Josh Kroenke here is interested in esports. They've obviously have their Overwatch League spot as well, and they want to tap into esports more, so this doesn't surprise me. And finally, a bit of a light-hearted, silly one. Troops of Arsenal Fan TV fame added to FIFA 20 as Volta London announcer. And I'm a fan of Arsenal Fan TV, so when I saw this, I thought I've got to cover it for the site, because who knows, maybe in the future we'll see him guest casting or commentating alongside some of the FIFA esports casters. And I put a tweet out saying that the other day, and I added Brandon Smith and Richard Buckley, two great British FIFA commentators, and they said one of them got back to me and said, yeah, I'd love to see it happen. So who knows what will happen, but he's in the game. I think you can hear him if you listen carefully here. Oh my days, fam. So there you go. That's almost it, guys. Time for Sacco's Snackos. This week I've got some cashew nuts. I'm a bit biased. I do like cashew nuts. For me personally, I have to go for a 9 out of 10. So of the 3 or 4 news roundups and Sacco Snackers we've done so far, these are leading the way. I can sit here and quite easily eat through a whole damn pack of these while I'm gaming or watching something on TV or whatever, chilling out. They're dangerous things. They're in a packet, so you can just like grab a few, eat, carry on gaming, grab a few. It's neat and tidy, it's yummy. So that's my review of the Sacco Snacko stuff. Thanks as always for tuning in, guys, and watching. Let me know if you want more of these type of things. I might start doing videos where I can, where I just do a quick 2 to 5 minute video with a big story that breaks. Would you like me to see me do that and offer my views on something quickly? If I'm able to do it at lunchtime some days and things like that. I'm toying with the idea of doing that and then writing an article on it afterwards, or vice versa. But let me know what you think, and cheers for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.